What's up, guys? This is Lucas, the Candyman Can't here with Omega Gaming, and today I'm presenting a new series and episode. This is going to be Top 5 Call of Duty Ghosts Most Weird and Underrated Classes, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Alright guys, coming in at number 5 is the USR Sniper Rifle. Now, this gun can be very overused in some cases, but you very rarely see it with an ACOG scope fitted onto it. Now, I have some gameplay here that I recorded using this gun with the ACOG setup, and after that, I'm going to give you the class setup. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the gameplay.
Incoming! Shoot him down!
Really?
Alright guys, here's the class setup for the USR. As you can see, we have the USR Sniper Rifle. I have gold camo fitted. You can use any camo. The most important parts are the ACOG and the armor piercing. On the ACOG, I have fitted the Mohawk reticle, what you get when you buy soap. You can really use any reticle. As you can see, I haven't really unlocked anything. I would prefer Blue Dot, Vortex, Delta, or Pulse because they're smaller reticles, but you can really use anything that floats your boat. I have the P226 with the Kimbo fitted onto it as my secondary. You can use any secondary. I normally use the gold PDW, but you can use anything. Moving on to perks, which are the most important part, I have Marathon, Quick Draw, Dead Silence, Amplify, and Resilience. And basically this is my standard perk setup. As you guys know, I have Assault fitted on here now, but you can really use anything you want, any support, specialist, assault, anything. So here's the class. Alright guys, coming in at number 4 is the M27 IAR. Now this is a very overused gun in every game mode, and I hate getting killed by LMGs, but it's a gun in a game, so I deal with it. And sometimes I'll use it if I'm getting really pissed off or something. I really haven't seen this gun used a lot in this format. As we all know, it's a very, very overused gun. But yeah, in this format, I've not seen it used a lot. I actually got this gun out of a random weapon box and decided to make the class because it was just so overpowered. As you can see, I'm just slicing through these guys like butter. So anyways, enjoy the gameplay and I'll give you the class setup momentarily. Alright guys, here's the class setup for the M27 IAR. Obviously we have the M27 on. I have body count camo on, but like earlier, you can use any camo. The most important part is the EOTech holographic sight, the underbarrel foregrip, and the rapid fire modification. Now, in the videos, I have the precision dot, but you can use anything. Unlike, for me personally, unlike the ACOG, I like bigger reticles because I don't know, I just like them on the holographic sight. Secondary, I have the gold PDW. Like I said earlier, you can use any secondary. It's not really important to the class. Moving on to the perks, which are, though, I have Sleight of Hand because this is an LMG. Marathon because it's an LMG and I want unlimited sprint. Dead Silence, Resilience to prevent fall damage, and extra attachment so I can have all 3 attachments. And I do have Assault on, but you can use Support, Specialist, anything you want. So there's the class. Alright guys, as you can see, in the number 3 spot for today's episode, we have the CBJ-MS. And this is a submachine gun. Actually, it's not very overused at all, even in its mint condition. So, this is not very used. I don't think a lot of people use it. I think the Bison, the Chris Vector, and all those other submachine guns, the MTAR-X, are all overpowering this thing. But as you can see, this thing is a beast. So I do have the ACOG on it, and I'll go over the class shortly, so just enjoy the gameplay. Alright guys, here's the class setup for the CBJ-MS. Obviously I have the CBJ on. I do have body count camo on, but you can use anything you want. The important parts, I have the ACOG scope, which is under sights. I have the underbarrel foregrip, and I have the barrel attachment flash suppressor. I do have Mohawk on, but you can use anything. I prefer smaller reticles like Blue Dot, Vertex, or Pulse, but you can use anything. I do have the P226 with silencer and extended mags on, but that's not really important. You can use any sidearm. The important parts are the perks. I use Marathon, dead silence, amplify, resilience, and extra attachment. I do have assault on, but you can use support or specialist, so there's the class. Alright guys, next up on our list for the number 2 spot is the Chris Vector. Now, this gun is tearing people up. As you guys can see, I do have the ACOG on it. I don't think a lot of people use ACOGs on submachine guns. Actually, I find them to be quite helpful. I mean, of course, I would rather use, normally use iron sights. If you've seen my best Chris Vector class video, I do use the iron sight foregrip and flash suppressor, but this is pretty good. So this gun isn't, I mean, the Chris Vector is overused a lot, but not in this way. Like I said, not a lot of people use ACOGs on submachine guns. So I'll give you guys the full class setup in a few moments, so sit back and enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Enemy care package incoming! Shoot him down!
Alright guys, here we have the Chris Vector class. So obviously I have the Chris Vector. I do have gold camo. Like anything else, you can use any camo. That's not important. So we have foregrip, rapid fire, and we have our ACOG scope fitted onto here. Those are the attachments. I do have the Mohawk reticle. I do like the smaller reticles. That's the smallest I have. You can use pulse, blue dot, delta, anything really. I do have the P226, the chemo extended mags. You can use any secondary you want really. It's not really important to the class. What are the perks? I do have marathon, dead silence, amplify, resilience, and extra attachment as my perk setup. I am running strike package assault. You can run support or specialist, it doesn't matter, but there's your Chris Vector class. Alright guys, for today's number 1 spot, we have the AK-12. As you guys can see, I have semi-automatic on this thing. Now, the AK-12 is moderately overused. A lot of people use it with the suppressor, and frankly, I love it with the semi-automatic attachment. I find you can just rack up the kills with it if people line up. I mean, at farther ranges, it can become inaccurate, and it's really dependent on a good trigger finger. But as you can see, this thing is putting people down. I just got knifed there, but this thing, oh, it's a beast. As you see, I got that long range headshot. You can, I mean, it's so underrated because, I mean, everyone thinks that semi-automatic is a bad thing. Frankly, I think it's three round burst is worse because you have that delay between trigger pulls. Now here you can just trick big as fast as your heart's content. So anyways guys, I'll give you the full class setup in a Alright guys, here's the AK-12 class setup. So we obviously have the AK-12 here. I have gold camo on it. That doesn't really matter though. I do have a muzzle brake, foregrip, and semi-automatic on this thing. I do have the P226, the chemo extended mags. You can really use any sidearm you want. The perks do matter. I have marathon, dead silence, amplify, resilience, and extra attachment. I use this on pretty much all of my classes, and I do have support or assault. Sorry, you can use support or whatever. So here's the class.